Today we're going to talk about one of the most underrated armies in Age of Empires Mobile, and the funny thing is, it only cost $1 to get this lineup very early in the game. Now there is an understandable reason why it's underrated, and it's not about Age of Empires Mobile itself, it's about the similar games that we play. I'm not going to tell you the troop type yet, but I want you to guess it in the comment section down below after I reveal our first commander. First, we're going to go over the pros and cons, then we will discuss what makes these heroes work so well together, and then we're going to talk about the changeable skills for each hero. And finally, if you don't want to pay that $1, which costs like less than a small cup of coffee, I will give you a complete free-to-play alternative as well. But I must say that the full free-to-play version is definitely not as good as the $1 version. So without further ado, let's reveal the first commander. 3, 2, 1, boom! The first hero that we have in the lineup is Attila the Hun. This is the beauty of Age of Empires Mobile, because in this game, most heroes are good at leading 2 different unit types rather than 1. So Attila is good at leading archers and cavalry. Can you guess the troop type? I'm sure you can after the reveal of the second hero, and that is Josephine. And as you can see, there is only one troop type they share together, and that is archers. And our main hero, the commander, is of course none other than Mulan. She is the reason why this configuration cost $1, because to unlock Mulan or Leonidas, you need to spend $1 to unlock it, but then you can use just universal tokens to upgrade them. So you don't necessarily, of course, if you do spend more, you will get more tokens, which means you will need to spend less universals. You can spend it on other heroes, but if you don't want to pay more than $1, it's definitely doable. So the reason why this march is underrated is because it's an archer march, and in similar games, archers are usually very weak. It's either, like always, it's either infantry or cavalry that are the strongest units. However, the thing in Age of Empires Mobile is that the counter unit type is actually very substantial, and the unit type that archers counter is the swordsman. And at this moment in Age of Empires Mobile, swordsman is the most popular troop type in the game. They have really good heroes that you can get early game, and of course for spenders from the VIP, they can get, if you're VIP 17, you can get King Arthur, but in the early game, day 1, you can immediately get Miyamoto, who is a really decent hero. So the number one benefit of this lineup is that it counters the most popular unit type in the game. And benefit number 2 is of course Josephine, because you literally start the game with her, and in this lineup, she actually shines. She is so good. Yes, later in the game, we will eventually switch Josephine with another hero, but for a very long time, we are going to be using Josephine, and it's going to be amazing because she is literally free. You can get her token, you can max her quite literally for free. Just for playing the game, she's going to serve you so well. And for the third hero, we have Attila the Hun. You also don't need to spend any amount in the game to get this hero, because he is available in the Wheel of, or I should say, not Wheel of Fortune. Well, it's technically a Wheel of Fortune, but it's called Legendary Advent. So it only requires $1, as I've explained, just to get Mulan for the very first time. And the second pro of this lineup is that you can literally get it in the very early days of the game. Because Mulan, you can get her day 1 with $1. Josephine, as I said, you literally start the game with her, and the Legendary Advent for Attila is going to be most likely the very first Legendary Advent that's going to be available in your server. And after you get all your 3 heroes as early as possible, you can start working on them, because especially Mulan and Attila, I mean, at least for now, I am planning to use them until for some reason I stop playing Age of Empires Mobile, not looking likely. And as I said, Josephine is going to be replaced, but you don't have to. It's going to still, like, she's going to work really well, but in later stages of the game, we are gonna get a hero that is just better than her, that works better than her in this lineup. Now, the thing that you are trying to do with this lineup is that you're not trying to survive on the field, you're not trying to be tanky. Your goal is to deal as much damage as possible in the shortest amount of time. And with this lineup, you are going to deal a ton of damage. And at least for quite some time, you're not going to have a lot of problems in the field, because the troop type you counter is swordsman, but the troop type that counters archers, is the cavalry. And guess what? Cavalry is probably the least popular unit type at least in the early game. So there will be a lot of marches that you counter, but there are not going to be a lot of marches that counters you. And that is basically, I will say, the beauty of this march, because the way that counter system works in Age of Empires Mobile, like the bonus that you get is quite substantial. And of course, for the maximum synergy, all 3 heroes, not only they are good at leading archers, they all are warriors. This means we are going to get even more boost on our march. And regarding configurable skills on our heroes, for Mulan, we are going to go for weak spot attack and Act of Mercy. However, if you want to use the double attack skill, you can still do it. I'll probably replace Act of Mercy, but to me, Act of Mercy and Weak Spot Attack is the best one. You can just simply rely on Attila for those double attacks. For Josephine, we will again go for Weak Spot Attack and Protracted Battle. If you want to boost her healing abilities though, again, you can go for double attack, but this time you are going to replace Weak Spot Attack. And finally, for our Attila, we go with Critical Insight and Warriors... I cannot pronounce it. Now let's briefly talk about why this formation, this hero configuration works so well together. Mainly Mulan and Attila, because Josephine, you're looking to replace her at some point later in the game, but Mulan and Attila, you can basically use them like forever. The first thing that we need to look at is the commander skill of Mulan. In Age of Empires Mobile, as I've explained on our previous videos, only for the primary hero, your commander skill works. For the rest, it doesn't. So the first skill, only for the first hero. Deals 4 rapid fire instances of might damage to the target and grants 150 initial rage upon entering battle. Now the both section of the skill is, I think, amazing. Number 1, you are dealing a lot of damage, and number 2, it grants you 150 initial rage the moment you enter the battle. And if you take a look at the rage cost, 250. This means you are going to fire off this skill so quickly in the battle. And that's what makes Mulan super strong. After launching a normal attack, it deals an extra instance of might damage to the target. And this part is super important, which has a 50% chance to become 3 instances of might damage. Mulan is basically like ton of damage, right? If we move on to Attila, only thing matters is his signature skill. It says there is a certain percent of chance for all of your heroes to enter the double attack state and increase your commander's might by 50 for 3 seconds. This is amazing. Mulan is going to turn into a machine gun. That is the whole synergy between these heroes, and that is also the reason this skill of Attila is the reason why we are not taking double attack on our changeable skills. So this whole synergy between the super high damage from the commander skill and signature skill of Mulan, plus the Attila's double attack state for all your heroes, not just for Attila, for all your heroes, that is incredible. So all in all, this lineup and these configurable skills are going to serve you for a very long time until we switched our Josephine to Belway. I cannot pronounce that either. Right, so the hero that's going to replace our Josephine is Belway. Oh my god, that was so bad. She's going to be available later in the game. The good thing is, she's replacing Josephine. Remember, Josephine is a free hero. You don't need to spend anything on her. So from day one, you can plan for this replacement and you can start saving, because this will obviously going to boost the performance of this lineup pretty massively. So I would say at this moment, that is going to be, at least my goal, is to get this lineup for my endgame Warrior Archer March. Last but not least, this is going to be our complete free-to-play Warrior Archer lineup in the early game. If you don't want to spend that $1 on Mulan, this is obviously still decent, but certainly not as powerful as the other configuration that we have with Mulan. Your main commander on this one is going to be Josephine. We have King Derek. You can, again, just like Josephine, King Derek is very easy to max and is completely free from the Giant's Roar event, and definitely pay attention to that event because Derek is quite versatile. The thing is, he's like for free to plays, he's like a jack of all trades. He's good at lots of different things, he works in lots of different lineups, however, he's not great at anything. And in the late game for free to plays, we are going to replace our King Derek with her. She's going to be our main commander, main hero. Josephine is going to be the secondary, and Attila again is going to be the tertiary commander. As you can see, like in all my lineups, I do have Attila. There is an argument that you could also consider Rani. Rani could be like really good as a replacement to Attila. However, since you get Attila very early in the game, if you just start working on him from day one, he's going to serve you for your whole gameplay of Age of Empires Mobile. Hope you guys liked it, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to download the game, the link will be in the description and pinned comment. I see you on the next Age of Empires Mobile video. Make sure to drop a like for more. Goodbye.